Good day, guys. Austin here, and today we are going to be setting up the Atari 2600. It's an old one. This is quite an old system. It is a good system though. It's got quite a few classics on there, and the emulation of it is pretty good too. You see, with the Atari systems, you've got, well, the basic Atari systems. You've got the Atari 2600, the 5200, and the 7200. To the top of my head, I probably got that all wrong. However, emulation for the 2600 is pretty much spot on. The emulation for the 7200, again, pretty much spot on. If you've watched me installing MESS, we did a quick tutorial on how to set up the 5600, which is problematic when you run with MESS. However, I run it with MESS. It's just the fact that I don't really use the 5200 or whatever it's called. Yeah, so again, me waffling shit down the microphone to you guys. So let's actually set up the 2600 because that's what we're going to do today. Okay, as always, in the link below we will have a link to a megasite. Within the megasite there will be a file. Within the file will be all the gifts, the bountiful gifts that I have bestowed upon you, the users. So make sure you download that. As default, it will appear on your desktop, something similar like this. All you need to do is, as always, uncompress, decompress, whatever it is, do it. So I'm going to extract here. So yeah, I've given you everything in there. I've given you the box art, I've given you the cart art, the themes, the wheels, the bezels, the fade, databases, and all the other things that you may need to get this system up and running on yours. Now, I am at this moment in time rendering another video. I'm trying to knock a few of these out today, so there may be issues with me loading this up. It may be a bit problematic and look a bit jittery. It's just because it uses on the CPU while I'm doing rendering. So yeah, enough of that anyway. Let's actually do it. Right, so is that done? No, again I'm rendering, so it's taking forever. My apologies. But while that's being done, we'll take ourselves to our hyper launch setup. Now, top of my head, is this setup as standard? No, I don't believe it is. So first off, we will have to enable the system. So first thing we need to do, find where our HYPERSPIN is. So in my case, it's on my D drive in my HYPERSPIN setup. Now, because it's not a default already enabled system, i.e. HYPERSPIN doesn't know it, so let's show you this anyway. Basically, it doesn't come as default. So I'm going to load up Hyperlaunch HQ now, or Rocket Launcher HQ, whatever the fuck they call it nowadays. I'm going to launch it up, and as you will see, you won't have Atari 2600 in the left hand pane. At least I don't think we will. It's going slow. No, as standard it comes with the Atari 5200. Not a good sign. So what we'll do is we'll enable this. We'll bring it into our system. Right, it's pretty easy to do. Pretty fucking easy to do. But there is important things that you need to take on board. First off, you need to know exactly how this fucking system is spelt, as in Atari 2600. It sounds not that hard, does it? But you have to be spot fucking on for it to work properly. You may be able to get it enabled. It may start running okay. But trust me, later down the line, you will have fucking errors popping out your ears if you do not do this one basic task. Please, I cannot emphasize this enough. Right, first off, we need to check that we spell Atari 2600 identically, I mean spot on to how HYPERSPIN knows it. So a good way to check that is go to Hyperlaunch HQ. Within that you will see a media folder, and within that a icons folder. Now all these icons, even though it's taking fucking forever because my system's rendering videos again, sorry. Yeah, each one of these little icons represent a system that Hyperlaunch can, or HYPERSPIN can run. Now they are also how do you say, labeled in the correct way. So as long as you go by these naming conventions for the systems, I mean identically, I mean capital letters, spaces, any punctuation, hyphens, anything that's in there needs to be identical to how you input it in HyperHQ. So enough waffling on, let's actually just fucking do this. So first off we need to find the Atari 2600. So Atari 52, Atari 2600. As I thought, it's not that fucking hard. Now, in an ideal world, I would be able to just, you know, click on this, copy and paste. So let's try that. I know it doesn't work. And I would be able to just copy and paste that in there. So as you can see, I've got a capital A and I've got one space and then 2600. It's not that hard, but when you get to, you know, machines such as these, then the slightest little error will wipe you out. So always get that done. So let's actually get this enabled. We've got that. Oh. Let's go back to our HYPERSPIN setup. Now in here is HyperHQ. Basically this is how you enable it on HYPERSPIN. Oh, come on. This tutorial is going to kill me today because it's rendering. It's 2015. I expect instantaneous results as soon as I click a button. Come on. You got this. Okay, so HyperHQ has loaded slowly. Click on the wheel settings. No, we don't. Ignore that. We click on the main menu wizard. Right, this is where you both add systems or take them away if you do not wish them to be on your wheel. Now, in this instance we're going to be adding a system, so click the big green plus, and here give your name for the system name. Now this is where you place basically the name what I was just showing you, so it should be Atari 2600. Now again, in an ideal world I should be able to right click. However, I cannot right click in this box and paste it in. That would be the ideal world, you know, then we would know there would be no errors. So I literally have to type it in by hand. Such a tedious process, people, come on. Number one, for the new beta option that's just come out on HYPERSPIN, number one, we're going to put in that we can right click and paste into this box. Okay, so capital letter, as we knew about, first off I have to click into the box. Okay, capital letter A, Atari, oh god, still drunk, Atari, 2600. Okay, so we've got a capital A, and then we've got a space, and then 2600, so Atari 2600. No, nothing fucking crazy going on, no stars, no smiley faces at the end, exactly as it is on the icon. Atari 2600. Okay, next, once you're happy and you've gone through this and you've compared it to, I don't know, biblical text and everything, just to ensure that this is 100% correct, then we can click next, then we can select this. Does your menu have a subwheel? Basically what that's asking is, it will show Atari 2600 on the main wheel. When I then click onto it, do you want to see a big another wheel with all the games on it, or do you want it to load straight into a system called Atari 2600? Basically I want it to have the subwheel, so yes. Okay, now it's asking where do you want to put it. Well, I've already got Atari 5200 there, and it was before that, and numerically it is before it also. So I'm going to click on 5200, and I'm going to add before. Are you sure you want to add the 2600 before the 5200? Yes, I am sure, because that's why I asked you to do it. I appreciate you double checking, but yes, that's what I asked. Okay, as you can see, we've got ticks across the board. We can now click next. And as you can see, it's got a little top hat with stars and a magical wand to metaphorically tell us that everything is now magic. Okay, so now we've got that system enabled on Hyperlaunch. Okay, so now we can get out of here. As you can see though, it's not enabled on here yet. That's because we had it open while we were adding the system. A little flaw in its plan. So what I'm going to have to do now is actually come out of here and then launch it back up, and now you will see in the left hand pane Atari 2600. I hope. Come on, we've got this. Oh, I hate rendering and doing things like this. It's so slow and tedious. Okay, it worked, and the way we know it worked tremendously is the fact that it's got an icon next to it. Now if you haven't got a little icon next to where we just written Atari 2600, then alarm bells should be ringing. You should delete the system and you should walk away with your head hanging in shame. I cannot help you anymore. But ensure it's got the little icon next to it. Okay, enough waffling. We've added it. Everything's ready to rumble. We're at the stage where we can add this system. So first off, we're going to be using the MESS Emulator for this one because it's a good one for this system. There's no need to do it already because if you've been following my tutorials, you should already have the MESS tutorial already configured. If not, look in the description below. There will be a link to allow you to set up MESS. Fuck me, I can't talk today. Yeah, Atari 2600. So let's fly through this. Let's pretend we are gods amongst men and we can do this without even bothering. Okay, Atari 2600. First off, emulators tab. Boom, ROM paths. Boom, the little green plus arrow. Okay, what it's asking is where is our games? So in my instance, it will be where are you? HYPERSPIN, ROMs, Atari 2600. There we go. Click OK. Obviously yours will be completely different depending on where all your games are stored. I cannot tell you where or how you get them, but that's where mine are stored on my system. Okay, default emulator. In this case, as I already said, we're going to be using MESS. You can use anything you want. You can use little chickens as well, as far as I'm concerned. However, I will be using MESS, and our tutorial will do so also. Okay, so settings. What do we need to do in settings? Are my 7 zips? I cannot remember. So we're going to test it on true, just to, you know, dance with the devil. I'm also going to enable my bezel. Again, your personal preference, whether you want it or not, but I will be. I don't even know if this will work, to be honest. We should be testing it before we start all this stuff, but anyway, let's do it. Fade progress, I want to get rid of. Show 7-zip progress, no, because the ROM is tiny, so it would be instantaneous, so that's false. And animation type, I just want it to be the image. I don't want it to show the bar. Basically, it will decompress the ROM if it's 7-zipped, and it will give me all kinds of stuff that I don't want to see. I just want to see it loading, basically. I don't want to see the progress report because it will be from 0 to 100% in less than a second. I mean, it's not a very good sight to see. Okay, so we got the bezel set up, we have the fade set up, we have the emulator set up, and we have the ROM path set up. Now let's dance with that devil and see if he smiles in the pale moonlight. So audit the system. Oh, by the gods of ingenious, not me doing my plan. Okay, we missed a step. Jesus, I am inflammable, whatever you call it. So first off, quick little recap here. As we talked about, I'll give you a download, and you should have downloaded that already in the download section. Okay, what I'm going to do is well, we've already done it. We've decompressed it. Okay. That was embarrassing. But I will show this as is. I will show you my flaws. Okay, 2600. It doesn't make any difference what procedure you do these in. I just normally put all these in first so I don't get embarrassed like that on my videos. Okay, first off then, back on track. Readme file, imperative, paramount importance that you read that Readme file. Some very useful information is now included in that Readme file. Made by me, obviously, and these are the two files that we need to be bothering out, media and databases. As you can see, as always, in our HYPERSPIN setup, we also have a media and databases file. What we're going to do is now we're going to select these two from the file that we downloaded. We're going to drag them over to our HYPERSPIN setup, and these will now merge with the files that already exist, or folders should I say, in our HYPERSPIN setup. Go on, my lovelies, my pretties, release yourself into the folders that we already have. Now, in a second or two, it will ask me, do you want to overwrite everything that's in there? I will proceed with a left click of the mouse above the option of replace everything that's within these files and folders, because that will be the righteous thing to do. Come on. Yes, replace the files in the destination. Yes. Come on. Come on. Okay, now back on track. We can now diminish this, away with you, and now we can get back into where we were, which is our hyperlaunch setup. As you can see, it didn't work because it didn't have a database to work off. So by now clicking the audit, it now collects everything. It's basics, isn't it? Basics. I should follow my own formula. So as you can see, these are all the games available that I have, and as you can see, they all seem to be labelled correctly. It's in green, so everything's tickety-boo so far. I'm just going to give this a test to make sure that the emulator is set up, the ROMs work with the emulator, and everything's working so far. So I'm going to test it within HyperLaunch, or Rocket Launch, or whatever it is that you've got going. So let's find a game. What was good? What was good back in the day? I don't even know if all these work. I don't know. Let's do Commando. No, we won't do that one. These are old games, aren't they? Jesus Christ. Where's C? Choplifter. That was a good one. That's what we tried on the other one, wasn't it? Is it on this one? Do we have Choplifter on this system? Chopper Command. Fuck it. We're going to play Chopper Command just for the sake of it. Ah, Centipede, why not, eh? Anyway, so yeah, we've got that set up, we've audited it. Now I'm going to test it with Centipede, going to do the rocket, spent probably too much time doing it. I haven't got my joypad switched on, but I just wanted to see it working, to be honest. I'm not really too fussed about the controls for the time being. Come on, you got this.
Loading game. Loading complete.
Looking good so far. Come on. It's going to be really slow because I am rendering, so this is going to be all blotchy. Fucking hell, I'm just amazed at this shit. How good am I? It just works straight away. And there it is, it's Centipede, up and running. Boom, 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 boombastic. Telefantastic. Okay, so we've done that, and it's looking good. We'll get out of there for the time being. Nice, nice, nice. Yep, that's that working. Now we've got, well, we've got that. What else can we do? Okay, I'm going to show you quickly how to make it look a little bit old school, because I like it this way. Hopefully it'll work, I've got no idea. I've not tried it yet. So first off, if you want it to look old school, then you can do this. Go onto the Modules tab at the top, into MESS, obviously making sure that you've already got 2600 highlighted here. So I'm going to play with the modules. Oh, as always, if you click on the View Module Notes, there's lots of healthy stuff there to be getting on with, to take your reading literature to the next level. But in this time, we're just going to get stuck straight in. So we're going to edit global module settings. Boom. Now within here is the old HLSL smackaroo. I'm not going to change it in this section because that will change it maybe in all settings that in all emulators or systems that run through MESS. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in the 2600 tab, and I'm going to enable true here. There we go. So now when I press X, hopefully that will save, and then maybe, I don't know if this will work, I'm just dancing with the devil again. Will he dance with me? So now when I go in there, hopefully it'll look all old school. Come on. It's taking forever because I'm rendering. Again, my sincerest apologies, guys. Come on. Got this. Yep, come on. Come on! I may have just asked too much of it while I'm rendering. Come on. Will you load? Will you load? At last! It's like pulling teeth. Oh, what's going on? It's so slow. I may just exit out of this. It's wasted my time, your time, and my computer's time, more importantly. Ugh. This tutorial has turned into a right pain in the ass. Okay, I'm going to exit out there, because otherwise we're going to be waiting for Jesus to
Loading game.
Oh, no.
Loading complete.
No, we will give it a second. Come on, baby Jesus, bless it with your baby spit. Show us all the powers you possess. Oh, come on, fuck me. Oh, there we go. finer fucking Lee. Okay, so yeah, that's what you're looking at. You see how old school that looks now? Now, as always, you can play around with this, you can tweak it, you make it look good. You can go into the website, the HYPERSPIN website, and the FTP, whatever it is they've got nowadays, and you can download all kinds of bezels and features and trinkets and lovely looking things to make this look the way you want it to. But, you know, I've given you enough tools in your war chest for you to be able to run the Atari 2600 at a good looking, well, if you get what I mean. My apologies for my super slow computer today. I'm asking a lot of it. Really am. Come on, get off my screen. Get off my screen. Okay, so first off, while this is taking place, we have got it so we've got it so it works within Hyperlaunch. So we know the engine works okay. Now what we need to do is make sure the body works okay. So now we're going to move on to the actual HYPERSPIN setup of it. Hopefully this shouldn't, apart from the loading of Hyperlaunch HQ, which I believe may already be activated. Activate. Yep, there we go. So we've got Hyper HQ already going on. We have got the wheel already sorted out, so we go on wheel settings. Atari 2600 we're going to be setting up. Okay, as always, first off, ROM path. Set it to where all your games are. So mine's HYPERSPIN, mine's in the ROMs folder. Again, yours will be completely different. Yeah, okay. Next, the extensions. It seems like all mine were zipped up or compressed, so I'm going to put the extensions as per. Yours may be different. You may have yours uncompressed, in which case you will have different extensions to run this. So whatever the name of the game is, and then it'll have dot and then 3 or 2 letters after it. Whatever those letters are, you need to list them all in here. Otherwise your games will not show when you go into the system, and it will either boot you straight out of the system, or it will show you a list of no games basically. So ensure this stage is correct. Now the way you list them is by, in my case mine are compressed, so I'll put these extensions in. Yours could be completely different. 7-zip. Now you do it by a comma, no spaces, and then the next extension if there is any. So comma, no space, and zip. So I've got 7-zip, ra, and zip. Now hopefully that should be okay. I'm not going to touch anything else around here. For some reason something's been clicked and it's put it on PC game. I'm going to put that to disable because it is not a PC game. God knows why that has changed for some reason. Everything else should be as per on here. Obviously your ROM path will be different. Wheel, as always, I'm going to drag this down to 0. I'm going to change the style to vertical. Normal will be a rounded wheel. Vertical will be straight up and down. As always, I want this to be large 400 and the smallest to be anywhere between 230 and 240. Set as 240, so that's within my bounds of likeness. Everything else on there seems to be tickety-boo, so we'll go to the next one. Okay, I wanted to show only the ROMs. Now if you tick this, that section has to be correct. If it's not correct here and you tick this box, then that's where it fucks up, because basically it's saying I want you, HYPERSPIN, the person, to only show me the games that I have in my setup. So if I don't have them, don't show them to me. Now if you set that up incorrectly, then basically it will say, well, you've got no games because I can't find them. So ensure this is paramount importance to be set up correctly. Wheels only, yes, because it looks ugly when it shows just text. I wanted to return to the last game, thank you very much, and I want to remove the text field info. It's just the way I like it, personal preference. Video wise, I'm going to tell it where my videos are. They could be anywhere on your system, anywhere, but as default they will be in your HYPERSPIN setup within your default media folder, and then the name of the system, so in this case it's Atari 2600, and within there will be a video folder. That's where they'll be as default. So I'm going to carry on with that one. I'm going to press OK. Sounds, I want to get rid of the wheel game sounds because they are fucking dog shit. Computer's going super slow now. And if you have a 360 pad, follow my lead on this next section. If you haven't, leave it as is. Okay? Only if you have a 360 pad, as in you are using an Xbox 360 controller to control your HYPERSPIN. Use this, well, do what I'm going to do now. If you have not, leave them as they are. So here we go. Untick everything apart from special artwork and the first tick, as in where it says enabled, ticked. Then in the Xbox I want to put 500. In the Y box I want to put 384. 384. I want it to come in for 1 second, and I want it to go out for 1 second. I want it to stay on for 3 seconds, and then when it goes out I want it to be gone for 3 seconds. I want to carry on with this as fade and that as to be as none. And that should be everything set up. Now the only thing left to do in order to get the system to be completely up and running and to the way everybody likes it is to, well, basically we can get rid of that for the time being because they should now be set up. The only thing left to do is in the bottom left hand corner, just underneath the video, there will be a the text saying the name of the game, the year it was developed, and the actual developer. Now that will be in the default format, as in a greyish colour, and it will be placed awkwardly on the screen randomly. To fix that, you need to, excuse me, you need to go to the tutorial that I put up, basically saying tips and tricks 2015. That will show you how to edit that and to make it look good. Trust me, you can do all kinds of shit to it, and it looks fucking superb when you take the time and the effort to fix it. Then once it's done, it's done. Keep it forever, and you also learn how to do it. Okay, next bit, you will need to go to either use HyperSync. You can use my HyperSync video. Again, it's a tutorial to set it up, and some of the information regards to getting accounts at MU Movies. Is it worth it? Is it not? And also a bit more information on how to get actual movies. Now, you will need movies for each one of these games to show. You can go straight to the MU Movies website. That's the best place. You can source them yourself off the internet, or you can use the HyperSync program, which will do it all for you. Again, I talk about it in the HyperSync video. So those are the only things left to do for this system. Remember, you do all this once, and then the system's completely set up, and then you can walk away with it and spit in its grave because you've conquered it, and it will be up and running for the rest of your life. So yeah, it's a ball ache to get it set up, but once it's set up, it's done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to load HyperSpin. I know it's going to take fucking forever because I'm rendering. It may be all jittery and look awful and stuff, but I just need to look and see that it's working correctly. Okay, try our best to go through this with being all jittery and awful. We don't want that to run. We want the Atari 2600. So let's load that up. As you can see, the default thing works on the screen. And there you go. As you can see, like I said, the text at the bottom here, basically saying where it says 2005 minigame multicart. You know, it's use the tips and tricks 2015, and I'll show you how to change that to make it look good for this theme. Also, all the videos for the games can we get from MU Movies, or you can source them yourself off the internet, or you can get them from wherever the fuck you want, to be honest. But yeah, there you go. That is it now, set up, all tickety-boo, and ready to roll for you. And as you can see, we've got the box art, the cart art. It's going to take forever for it to come in because my video is rendering, but you know, it looks good, doesn't it? I'm excited. I just want to play it now. It's going to take forever for it to come in because the hard drive is all fucking wound up from the rendering. Okay, so let's exit out. Oh, come on. You're killing me. Yes. Okay, so, as always, there you go. All done. Remember, do not fucking buy pre-configured drives. They are bullshit. They are done by knobheads who just want your money. They don't work. Trust me, they do not work. They will tell you all sorts to try and get you to buy their drives. They do not work, and then it's left to me and other people on the forums to try and help you out, not only to get your stuff to work, but at the end of the day, you have to start basically from scratch, and you've just lost yourself, you know, whatever it costs you to make it. At the end of the day, it's fucking free to make these, so do it yourself, you know. You can get most of these systems up and running in the space of a few hours. So there you go, all done, tickety boo. Thank you very much for joining me. Make sure you like, subscribe, and most of all share, so other people can use this bank of knowledge that I'm giving you all to save them from falling down the pitfalls of pre-configured drives. So as always guys, thank you very much for watching. Please do everything that people normally do with a YouTube video. If you've got any problems, get me on my Facebook account, my Twitter account. All the links are above on my page. And you guys have a really good day. Laters.